Ethereum is starting to challenge the billionaire class, and today we're going to be breaking it down for you, why this will matter very much, because it all talks about privacy and the future of that. Let's get into it. I do want to thank our sponsor. That's Tangem. You guys can get into privacy right there, and you do it through self-custody. One of the best ways to secure your crypto is on a hardware wallet, and it works like a credit card with your phone. One of the best tools out there. I've loved this product, and we've been supporting it for a very long time. Very easy to set up, 3 minutes, literally, I'm not lying, 3 minutes to set this thing up. Super simple, anyone can do it. If you're brand new to crypto, this is the product for you. I cannot tell you enough, the self-custody is one of the best ways that you can control your crypto. Use our link, get a little bit of a discount, and get started. A lot happening out there. There is a big issue though right now, and it is all about our data. Here's a clip that reveals something very interesting. Take a look.
Trump administration says the Department of Government Efficiency employees shared Social Security data, according to a Justice Department court filing.
And one of them even signed an agreement with a political advocacy group that was working to overturn election results in certain states.
This is the worst nightmare that people were thinking about back then.
Uploaded a copy of all federal Social Security numbers to an unsecured server back in June, and over 300 million Americans are at risk of identity fraud.
Retained access to private Social Security profiles even after a court ordered that access to stop. The access didn't fully stop, and now the government can't even tell the public what happened to their data.
Now, this is the first time the Trump administration has acknowledged that DOGE employees mishandled Social Security records.
ICE is using Medicaid data, including that is also illegal. That Medicaid data is supposed to be protected by law.
None of you up here would subscribe to any of your constituents' data being exposed and taken out of Social Security. For what purposes? In the court documents, they said in one case it's for political use.
All right, guys, we are talking about both sides being very bad here. And it appears that DOGE, of course, is overreached into the cookie jar. And of course, where are they overreaching? So as you can see, data is the big deal here. Now, as you look back at where data is being used, it seems or appears to be centralizing around a surveillance state. And of course, this goes all the way into what ICE has been doing. We've been tracking that. You can kind of see just some of the movements. All right, so if you look at where some of this budget is gone, this is one of them. ICE's new budget now larger than combined budgets of all other federal law enforcement agencies out there. You can kind of see the list right there. Further into the data, you see the ICE budgets versus countries in comparisons, defense budgets. There is only, I mean, why do you need this much money to get into something? Only reason could be, especially when you apply the stolen data or the fact that you've got access to this kind of data, all this looks like is a potential of a surveillance state. And this, of course, is getting into unprecedented budget growth, all centered around this. Now, granted, yeah, we've had many, many years of the issue of immigration. Was it accelerated that much during the Biden years that you have to spend that much money to eradicate what's going on here in the United States? I don't know. Here was an interesting look at this. Of course, if you look at how much money is being spent, the potential of what could be all centered around immigration hype. And of course, the real question is have we lost all of our freedoms for the price of what's going on right now with ICE? That's the question that everybody's asking. I don't know. You have to consider, though, X went down at a very inopportune time of where some of this data and reports could have been revealed. X, of course, down. Then, of course, you have bad timing with none other than 21 Shares launching their Doge ETF. So bad timing here, but maybe this will turn around for them. Here was Chris Giancarlo. This is the former CFTC chair, and he makes a good statement here. It's now indeed the time to realign the Bank Secrecy Act to the Bill of Rights. So it's possible that we could align, now being Republicans and Democrats, could align to basically give us back many of those rights that were stripped from us over the past few administrations around privacy. Privacy being a big key here, of course. And when you have all of our data being stolen, that's the issue that I'm getting at right here. So speaking of disinformation, you've got Elon out here pushing that X would be potentially repaired by the end of the year. I don't think anybody really believes him anymore, especially after we found out what they were doing with crypto Twitter. Everybody remembers Nikita Bayer. He is the developer that was basically saying, yes, we've been repressing crypto in our system, in our algorithm. And of course, I don't think anybody is following that along. This pushes the buttons of crypto. And I think when you push the buttons of the best developers in the world, things will happen. And one of those, of course, is what Vitalik is focused on right here. In 2026, I plan to be fully back to decentralized social. So this may be the point where we actually get a social media platform that is actually federated and decentralized and competitive with that of the mainstream. Have we reached the tipping point, guys, for privacy? Are we there right now? Maybe Vitalik will get this done. Maybe he won't. Let me know in the comments if you think Vitalik can pull off decentralized social media. It is a big, big deal for sure. Now, Tyler came in and said this: to me, when the market has rejected an idea thoroughly, it's a sign to move on rather than double down. And we understand that because you've had Farcaster, Lens Protocol, a whole slew of decentralized social media platforms that have attempted, but you haven't had one thing, and that is absolute disdain for what we're seeing in DC and through the elites and also through the technocrats of our society. That's why I think now might be the time. Another thing that plays into this is timing. And remember Polymarket? Polymarket, if you look back here, 21, 22, see? Hardly no transaction. All of a sudden you get a critical event. And you know what that critical event was? It was an election. And that election started Polymarket. So maybe that is what we could see as early as the midterms this year if we were to get a decentralized social media platform. So let me ask you this. If you had a decentralized social media platform, would you go off of X? If you could own all your data, control everything within it, it's yours, completely decentralized, away from the man and the algorithms, would you make the leap? Let me know in the comments down below. The last time that we had a major shift with where social was being split. Now, granted, part of this I think is because of the factions. You have the left and the right, okay? And then maybe, people in the center that probably, cohabitate in both platforms. But it was really when you had Twitter purchased by Elon. Threads, of course, came out. This is an Instagram, that's Meta. The growth here has been slow going for both Threads, but up. But remember, it was coming from almost zero, but it had Meta in its back pocket. Twitter, on the other hand, has been pretty much flat and down. So that may be the indicator here. Are we seeing a time where maybe there is a shift in order that's coming our way? All right, so one of the things that is going to need to happen is onboarding. You're going to have distribution. And the real model here, I think, will come through Mr. Beast. And Mr. Beast, of course, is doing a lot of different activations and onboarding. And these are typical models in which he goes out and creates ways to engage his audience. And remember that Tom Lee partnered with Mr. Beast here recently. Ethereum now, of course, the preferred blockchain for on-chain assets. This could translate into the financial services side or even a social media platform over within the Ethereum network. Vitalik is now on board. Maybe all this comes together all at once in a very critical time where our country is needing more privacy around all of this. And just let's not forget, active addresses exploding right there. Active addresses exploding on Ethereum as well as transactions. So might be the right time, guys. Ethereum may be the play here as we look at social media and the decentralization, which has been talked about forever. The question now is, can it happen? If you like this video, hit like and subscribe, drop a comment down below, and also join our free private member group. The link is in the description.